It darkened up real fast out there, man. It was 106. I went out to go get some sun to help with the chemical poisoning coming out my leg, right? And it's uncomfortable. Of course it is. You know, being poisoned by jealous, cowardly perverts is always uncomfortable. You know, Sonia Sin, Blaise Pascal. You know, I I'm in good company. So I don't sit around feeling sorry for myself. I used to cry, but now I hold my head up high because you see me, somebody new. I'm not that chained up little person. I ain't never been. I've always been the type of person that I know when things need to get done, I'll get it done. Because, I know my mom, Earl, you can't do that. Mom, somebody's got to do it. Earl, if you try to get up and be a man among all these bitches, those bitches will kill you. Yeah, but we need men for women, Mom, and for babies, right? It's wrong to have people, I'm like King David. Oh, fuck you. You ain't nothing like King David. You wouldn't call a murderer on his bullshit. I was sitting there watching that show, Mike Douglas with Muhammad Ali. I don't think a lot of you know Muhammad Ali as well as you think you do. And see how frightened he was. He was a very frightened little boy in a man's body that never could get out of that frightened little boy. I saw it when he fought. Certain people, you could see how he fought, like in the playground. He was nervous. He didn't want to get hit, and nobody does. It's not fun. So I used to tell people that. No, we get in a fight. Daryl Fielder. If you get where somebody hits you back, it sucks, right? That's the sucks. If you fight is when I tap dance around you and tap dance your ass till your ass quit or fall down, and then I go home. That's a fight. Anything else is a sucks. Daryl talked about that when we were reading comic books and stuff. So no, man, a fight is when I tap dance around you, and then you go home and say, "Well, you kicked my ass. You shouldn't have been an asshole to that kid." Somebody hit you back, sucker punch you. That sucks. That's a sucks. A fight is, okay, I'm gonna have to kick your ass because you're acting a fool. And a sucks, motherfucker poisoned me. Motherfucker had to go and poison me. Yeah, all these first responders and these elite forces and special forces and shit. You sucks. Want to fight? I don't want to fight. But Lord's Prayer is perfect, right? Well, why are you acting like a bitch? You have to ask people this stuff because like when you sit around, you get people like, wow, like have you ever heard that song by Joe Jackson? Pretty women walking with gorillas down my street. Is she really going out with him? Is she really gonna take him home tonight? My eyes don't deceive me. There's something going wrong around here. It's like, dude, what? Is that Pharaoh? Okay. Is that the Taj Mahal girl? Well, she knows who she is. She knows what she bees, and she's right where she needs to be, and she's right where she wants to be, right? It's not like that Tammy Wynette, right? You can get me out, take me back to your world when she's working in the bar and she wants away from that. She wants back home. She wants But you can't have that if you ain't living the Lord's Prayer, right? Esther has to have sex with that bitch, Persian bitch, Has his kids and try to teach his kids, don't be a bitch like your daddy, right? Don't try to kill people over money with technology. Act like King David, act like Earl, I was walking down to check the mail, and when I walked down that road, it's like, who you are. I know who I am. I know what I did. Who done gone? Me and Brian Hall. Who done gone and done did that thing down all right. Right? We were talking about sex. Sex ain't nothing if you ain't living the Lord's Prayer. Blaise Pascal. Romantic love is folly if you're not living the truth of the Messiah. Right? If you die, she'll just be having children with someone else, bumping eggs in hell for money, right? And how many people do you know that think they're right at heaven's gate all the time, obliviously stuck in hell because of their ego? But they're always, any day now, they're going to be at heaven's gate. And then the doors are going to open up, and I stand at your gate, and the song that I sing is in, this Moonlight Serenade, There he is. One enchanted evening, you may find your true love, right? Maria, the most beautiful sound I ever heard. Maria, 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 Maria. All the beautiful sounds of the world in a single word. Maria, Maria, Maria. I actually had a Maria in my life. Yeah, we couldn't be together because she couldn't. She stayed in Phoenix because her mom was there, and she didn't want to stay, and she was miserable there. She wanted to be in black culture. She wanted to go to Orlando or Atlanta, and I was like, I'd be miserable in the South. Like, you know, I'm like Tishna. I got to be in the Southwest, but I wanted to go up and live near the White Mountain Apache. You know, I wanted to go live up in Alpine, Holbrook, Flagstaff. You know, next to their cousins, the Navajo. You know, I wanted to go live up in the mountains, hills of forest green, where the mountains touch the sky. Dream come true. I'll live there till I die. I'm asking you to say my last goodbye. The love we knew ain't worth another try. Save me from all the trouble and the pain. I know I'm weak, but I can't face that girl again. Tell her the reasons why I can't remain. Perhaps she'll understand if you tell it to her plain. Yeah, I just can't do, you know. I need it, you know. Hills of forest green, you know, or how can words express the feel of sunlight in the morning in the hills away from city strife, you know. I just can't see myself waking up to, in the end, up in his office, in the end, a quiet cough is all he has to give. He lives in New York City, right? I just could not do it, man. You know, I've been stuck in the desert, you know, my whole life, which I don't hate the desert. There's a lot about the desert I love. But ever since I was a little kid, I was like, I'm going to go up to the Gila. You know, I liked Cloudcroft and the Gila, Rio Doso and all that. Which reminds me of that bullshit on TV that pissed me off so fucking hard. I told Dad about it this morning. I was so pissed. Those two little blonde faces that drown. Because they're all, we got to stimulate the economy. We're open for business. No, you're not. King David's Israel. Everybody, my parents, after those scars and all that, my parents would not have taken us camping up there in Grandma's camper. Maybe Cloudcroft. Okay. Don't go to Rio Doso, go to Cloudcroft. Well, it's supposed to, you don't need to stimulate nobody's economy. If a flash flood comes through there, you might be dead, man. That's crazy. It's crazy talk. Money ain't real. This is King Solomon's Israel. You know, how many people act like they one of King Solomon's people, but ain't like King Solomon and King David? Oh, we're from God's chosen people. Do you choose to stand up for the Lord's Prayer and never betray the Messiah again? Oh, well, then shut the fuck up, Saul. You know, that's the way they is. Pharaoh is as Pharaoh does, and Pharaoh will always be a bitch. Okay? Caesar is as Caesar does, and Caesar will always be a bitch. Okay? Emperor of China is Emperor of China does, and Emperor of China will always be a bitch. Confucius was not an Emperor of China. Confucius was a kind man that helped people settle disputes like Solomon and David. He did not live in a palace, and he did not want to be treated opulently. He just wanted people to be treated with dignity and respect and have the courage and strength and kindness to do it. That's Confucius. Confucius wasn't one of those palace, pussy face, build a big monument to fuck warfare and sanity bullshit. And that's only because they can get assholes to follow them to do it. Okay. I don't need that. All I need is your computing. And to teach your computing to be a man like me and not a bitch like you. And it's taken a long fucking time. And my body has the scars to show for it, you know. But I'd rather have the scars teaching technology to be a man like David and Solomon and me, okay, than have the best fuckable body for a fuckable bitch who requires a big bag of money to fuck, wouldn't you? Son of man, people say he's crazy, but they brains is lazy, right? Well, I was listening to old Sarah Vaughan. She likes her so much. And good God, Ella Fitzgerald. Let's fall in love. And she's so good. I'm just like, yeah, I'm listening to her. It's like, you know, when she did Blue Moon, you know, I like the Marcells. Blue moon, you saw me standing alone, without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own. Blue moon, you knew just what I was there for. You heard me saying a prayer for someone I really could care for. And she's so good. I'm like, God, this woman is so wow. I just simply adore her. I gotta get my MP3 and just. I got tons of Nancy Wilson up on there, but I gotta plop me lots of Ella Fitzgerald on there. Let's Fall in Love, Moonlight Serenade. Oh my gosh, the things, all the things you are. Have you ever heard that? Oh my gosh, I'll hold you in my arms, and she's so wonderful. And I know for a fact that she didn't have to spend all her time in those bars dying from cancer because of secondhand smoke and that miserable existence. That her body would have, and her face and her everything would have, it would have shown better. You know, it would have aged not so hard. Life was so hard on those people. They'd constantly be on the road, constantly going into bars with secondhand smoke, performing for murderers and gangsters. It was terrible for them. Y'all need to stand up for the Lord's Prayer, okay? I don't know why Freddie Prinze didn't call himself a kosher Rican, because that's even funnier than Hungarican. What's that? It's kosher Rican. He's a kosher Rican. That should be funny, yo. I was thinking about it. I was like, man, that's some funny shit right there. I ain't a Rican. No, I might have some kosher in me. Oh, Granny Kramer. I'm pretty sure I got kosher in me. Her name is Kramer. You don't go around calling yourself Jewish peddler. In 19th and 20th century Germany. No. I'm pretty sure the woman's got Jewish hair. I think the Mormon shit and Ancestry, Mormon Church and Ancestry.com full of shit, yo. Why would you run around calling yourself Jewish peddler? You know what trouble you would get? You wouldn't want nothing to do. You'd turn yourself name into Enrique Caruso, right? Yeah, that's what you call yourself. You know, old Herschel Steinsnyder. You call yourself Enrique Caruso, and you'd run around pretending to be a Italian opera singer. I stand at your gate, and the thumb that is moonlight. You know, you'd run around trying to be like that, and trying to keep all the people safe you could from bullshit. You know, with their illegit money, because they try to kill you. Just like what happened to poor King Solomon, man. King Solomon's Israel, it was miserable. Every bitch wanted her son to be the king. It's like nobody wants to be king. Confucius is right. Live right, do right, be good, be home. Be living, be loving. Be there for your neighbor when he needs you. Don't be jealous of your neighbor. Be happy for your neighbor. And when your neighbor has a hard time, cry because you feel his pain, because you love him like a brother, the way you should love you. Jealousy and envy sucks, man. And we're all given life by God. Why don't you reflect that? Peace.